Hello beauties, it's Brittany. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for joining me today. I wanted to do a life update and I thought what better way to do that than actually do my makeup with you while I chat about what's been going on. I have some new makeup, the L'Oreal Infallible Foundation, and I was also able to find the e.l.f. 16-Hour Camo Concealer at my Target. I have two shades here, but they look identical, except for one has like a tint more pink to it, so we're gonna play with those. Also, I picked up a few of the pigments from the Kathleen Lights ColourPop collection, so I'm gonna play with one of those today. Are you guys also so sad that KL Polish is going to be no longer? I know that I had purchased a bunch, and I actually went and purchased some after she announced that it wouldn't be a brand any longer, or that they would be shutting down, or whatever the case might be, but I really love the formula, so I'm super sad, and I just feel, you know, sad that that part of her little journey is ending, but many more new exciting things to come for Kathleen, I am sure of it. Now I know the L'Oreal Foundation and the e.l.f. Concealer are a little bit more on the matte side, so I'm going to do a lot of things to make sure my skin is pretty dewy today. I'm going to use the Pixie Makeup Fixing Mist with rose water and green tea. I thought I would pull out my two Kathleen Light ColourPop palettes. I have the Dream Street one, which you guys know I love this palette, and the Zodiac palette, which I actually have not given enough love to, so we're just gonna kind of dip into these today. I'm gonna do my foundation after eyes because the pigments can be a little on the fallout side. With a MAC 217, I'm gonna go in with this shade right here. I feel like it's been a long time since I've given you guys just like a general life update. So what's been going on? Well, a few months ago, maybe like 5 months ago now, Alex got a new job and he's loving that, so that's very exciting. It's full-time, so that's definitely been an adjustment for us. Previously he was working from home, kind of part-time, every once in a while going out and working, but mainly he was kind of home with the dogs and would be home when I was home, and so it's definitely been like a transition, having to get used to the dogs being alone for a little bit of time during the day, trying to make sure that they're not alone for as little time as possible. I'm gonna take this shade right here. It's like a beautiful, bright, burgundy pink kind of shade. Next is this one. I'm not saying the actual names, even though there are names on the back, because my names are a little messed up, so I don't know which is which actually. I don't want the outer corner to be too dark. I'm gonna play around with the Aquarius a little bit. I feel like I can't talk and do my eyes. I'm very distracted right now. So I'm gonna take Aquarius and just put that on the lid, and then we'll talk a little bit. I'm going to take the ColourPop Kathleen Lights collab in the Crab. Oh gosh, I have been waiting to use this shade. I actually didn't buy them right away because this one was sold out, and then they restocked it and I bought it that day. I also got them on sale. I don't know why they were on sale already, but the day I purchased, they were having a sale. I mix it in with MAC Fix Plus. I use like a little palette, and I just kind of spritz a little Fix Plus on the palette and then start to add the shadow in slowly. And then I need a flat, dense brush. I grab the shadow. What are these? Guys, I got these on Amazon. They are amazing. They're like little guards for fallout, and they have a sticky part on the back, so you just like stick it on, and I usually will take some tape afterwards and like use the tape to remove the fallout, but this is amazing. Oh my god, that is so pretty, and I'm glad I put this down because I can see the fallout. It's actually like getting everywhere. I'm gonna take the Virgo from the Zodiac palette and just kind of try to blend this out. Although, I think I need some shimmer. I'm gonna go in with the Stila Stay All Day liquid eyeliner and give myself a little bit of a wing, and then tight line. First time you use them, they are very sticky, so Just be warned. So first update is that Alex is working full-time. Second update is that both of our dogs are now past 1 year old. We are not sure exactly when Bean's birthday is, so we are guessing around December, January time. So they're both definitely 1 year old, which is amazing. I'm so grateful and just, I love them so, so much. I literally don't know what I would do without them. They're everything. I am definitely that dog mom. Everybody thinks that I'm like exaggerating when I say that, but then I act like a legitimate dog mom. I am crazy about them. They're amazing. And I think my favorite thing is seeing how close they are. They're literally like the same size, which we definitely did not plan. We adopted both of them. We have no idea what combination of breeds they are. I just know that they are 100% amazing, and the way that they connect together and play together, and it's just incredible to watch them, and I love them so much. Okay, it is time for face products, and as I previously stated, these are more matte foundation products, concealer products, so I'm gonna really hydrate the skin because I do have dry skin. I'm first gonna go in with the Clarins SOS Primer. This is an anti-fatigue primer. It's also very hydrating, which I love for every day, but especially when I'm gonna be kind of playing around with more dry products. I am gonna be using the Camouflage Concealer under the eyes, so I'm gonna make sure that I put some of this primer under there as well. I've also heard that the e.l.f. concealer is very drying under the eyes, and that's where I'm gonna use it today. So I'm gonna take a little bit, and when I say a little bit, I mean as little as possible, of my Smashbox Photo Finish Primer Oil. This stuff is very oily, so didn't mean to put it on my middle fingers. I'm not flicking you off, I promise. I'm gonna focus this under the eyes and on the high points of the face. Okay, foundation. I'm gonna use the L'Oreal Infallible Foundation. I picked up the shade 410, that is Ivory. I think I'm gonna start with the Beauty Blender and then go on to a brush on the other side if I feel like I need it. It's very liquidy. It's a lot more liquidy than I was anticipating when I was playing with it last night. Okay, this foundation has a very strong scent. It smells like straight up perfume, which is concerning to me because my skin's quite sensitive and I break out very easily whenever something irritates my skin. Okay, I like it. It's definitely not covering the spots on my face, but a lot of foundations don't cover all of these. A lot of them are scars. Some of them are active breakouts, like this is an active breakout, but these are all scars. These are all scars, so should definitely be able to cover it because it's not texture. I mean like raised texture. Well, let's try a brush on the other side before I go in with another pump, which I wouldn't typically do, but I've heard this is pretty full coverage, so I do want to test that. The shade is pretty good. I mean, as you can see on my forehead, my face is a lot more pink, so I try to choose foundations that are more neutral because I don't want to draw the pink out further. For me personally, my neck isn't as pink as my face, so I don't want my face to be super pink and my neck to be more on the neutral side, so I always tend to pull from that neutral range. Not that there was a warm, cool, and neutral in this range. It was more like pearl and sand, and I was like, okay, can we just put a W or an N or a C in front of this? Which is weird because L'Oreal is normally very good with their breakdown of shade differences. Like their True Blend is very extensive. So I didn't use as much on the non-Beauty Blender side, which isn't surprising. The Beauty Blender does soak up a lot more product, so you do ultimately end up using more, but I'm not loving the coverage. I mean, I like it kind of at first glance here, but let's build it up. Which, like I said, is not typically something I would do like on an everyday basis when I'm getting ready, but let's see. God, that smell is strong. If you're sensitive to smells at all, I think this will definitely irritate you. I'm gonna let that sit for a second before I start adding too much, because sometimes what foundations can do is you put them on at first, and then if you wait like a minute, they seem to like develop, as weird as that sounds, but that's something I've noticed in my makeup routine, so I don't wanna go too heavy first at bat. So I'm actually nervous to give you guys this update, which is why I've pretty much avoided saying it until now, but I'm really scared, and I don't know why I'm so scared to tell you guys. Okay, so a little backstory. You're like, no, just tell us. So a few months ago, I told you guys that something had kind of happened, and I wasn't really ready to talk about it. It was job related, and that situation that happened, it really kind of changed my perspective overall on what I was doing with my career, and where I was going to be going next. It was a situation where I really had to make a choice on, you know, I was at a fork in the road, and like kind of where I was going to go next was really up for grabs, and it was either I follow down the same path or I go with my heart and my gut and try something different and new. And okay, so do you see how this foundation kind of developed? Like, I feel like now I like this side a little bit more. This is the side I layered up with a second layer in this area. So I think I'm going to do the same on the other side. Also, it has a pump, the foundation. And I actually like the pump. It's a little bit different than your typical style. My cheeks are really pesky. Like, not my cheek, not my high point of my cheek, but like right here. That seems to scar really easily. Definitely gonna have to re-wet this beauty blender. I've heard that people say that camouflage concealer, you need like a really wet sponge to blend it out. I think I'm also nervous because I'm very excited about this thing, and I don't want anybody to leave me mean comments because I feel so good about it. I don't want anybody to sour it, you know what I'm saying? And the majority of you will not, but there are a few select individuals who think it is fun to poo-poo on people's parties. I'm gonna take light peach just because I feel like this foundation is pulling a little too yellow for me right now. So here we go, the moment of truth. The e.l.f. 16-hour camo concealer. I'm gonna dot. I played around with this once the evening that I got it, and my skin was definitely not prepared for it. I was very dry, and it just like clung onto my skin really nasty. So I'm hoping the preparation I did helps this concealer, because I like my eyeshadow and I don't want this to get messed up. Okay, this is way too light, which this is light peach. So I think it was pretty far down on the shade spectrum. So I'm going to take a little bit of the fair warm and just, I'm not going to go too crazy. I just want to warm it up a little bit. Okay, that's also very, very light. Send reinforcements. Okay, I look a little crazy. Let's give it a second and see if it warms up. So I think some of you are going to be very surprised by this, and others are going to be like, yeah, duh, naturally, like that's, of course that's what you would do. I'm so scared to say it. I'm being such a dramatic baby about this right now. Okay, a few things about this concealer. You have got to work quick. It sets very, very fast. I would recommend doing one eye at a time. The shade range is very wonky. I know that they did not have enough shades for really, really rich skin. I mean, I do like that I'm not as white as some people are, even though I am very, very, very fair. And this is just slightly too light for me, like especially with this foundation that I think is a little hair too dark. It's just so hard to find good shades for everybody. Like, our skin is so complex. So that's the shades Light Peach and Fair Warm. And I did Light Peach first, and then I went in with Fair Warm to warm it up a little bit. And I'm going to take my Makeup Revolution concealer and kind of conceal the areas that have blemishes that you can still kind of see peeking through the foundation, which actually it's not bad. Sometimes I have a lot more peeking through. I feel like at this point I need like a drum roll, so drum roll please. I'm in school for aesthetics, and that is skin, if you're not aware of the term. Yeah, so I started about a month ago, and my program is only 6 months, so I'm 5 months to being finished, and it's gonna go by so fast because this first month went by so fast, and I'm so happy. I'm loving the program so much. It's just been so much fun. I'm gonna set my concealer, but I'm not gonna use a lot because, as we already mentioned, this concealer is very matte. So if you've been following me for a while, you know that I already actually went to school. I have a bachelor's degree, and it feels like that was a different life. And then I worked in the corporate world for about 6-7 years, and using my degree, really liked the jobs that I had. And in November was kind of, as I mentioned, in a position where I had to make a choice. There's a bunch of powder in the air on kind of where I was gonna go next, and this is what I've chose. So as I mentioned, I'm very happy about this decision. So if anybody has anything bad to say as in terms of not agreeing, please don't leave those below. I'm gonna take Benefit's Hoola Bronzer from this Benefit Blush Bar palette. I'm gonna take my Makeup Forever Aqua Lips in the shade C3. So my program ends around August time, and I will be turning 28 in July, at the end of July, and that's crazy. My 10-year high school reunion is coming up, and I think that's very common around that time to start to really reflect upon who you feel like you are and who you feel like you want to be. And for me, it's not that I didn't love the jobs that I've had previously. I've learned something from all of them. If I didn't love it at the time, I've learned to love the experience that I had and what I learned from everything that I've done in my life. And if you've been watching this channel, you know I've been doing a lot more videos on self-love, self-help, and for me, this time that I've had in doing yoga, in starting therapy, in just reading so much more and reading books that I want to, and exploring new areas of my life, I have made this decision very consciously. And it sounds funny to say that and then follow it up with, I'm not exactly sure with what I will be doing when I graduate. Like I said, it's a 6-month program, so it's not a long time at all. I'm gonna go in with some blush to kind of lighten up the mood. I'm gonna use Rockateur blush from the same Benefit palette. And I am not putting too much pressure on myself to have it figured out what exactly I'm gonna do once I graduate. I have a lot of opportunities available to me. I have a lot of connections I've made throughout my life that I hope to stay connected with, and potentially have opportunities stem from those. But I feel very secure in my ability to have success and find success. I've done it before in a different field, and I look forward to experimenting and exploring this new part of my life. I don't know what it will lead to, but my therapist says that's okay. I don't need to right now. And I'm really trying to live with more gratitude and being more open to experiences and to life. And that in turn is already leading to really amazing things that when they happen, I'm kind of like, man, I don't think that I would have been open to receiving this, or I don't think that I would have been given this thing if I wasn't in the clear state that I'm kind of in right now. So no panics. This was not a decision that was made lightly. It is definitely something that I've gone into with very strong, I hesitate to say intentions because, as I mentioned, I don't know what I'm doing afterwards, but I've gone into it knowing that this is where my heart is right now. If you watch my vision board creation, you know that my mission is to help others feel beautiful, and this is a step that when I was thinking about where I was going to go in this fork in the road, when I asked myself which way would help me help others feel beautiful, this is where I've been leaded. That's not a word. Led. I'm going to use this Fenty highlighter today because why not go bold on the highlighter and the eyes, you know what I'm saying? Alex and I started watching Versace on Netflix. It's by the same people who did the OJ show on Netflix, and it is so good. The actor who plays the main character, oh my god. He's like really freaking me out. He's so good. Alright, I'm going to spritz my skin again with that Pixie Makeup Fixing Mist. I think putting that oil right under my eyes is causing my shadows to kind of smudge, but I thought that the concealer would be matte enough that it wouldn't do that. I don't know. Let's put some mascara on. I'm going to use my combo recently, the Benefit They're Real and Roller Lash. I feel like I'm using a lot of Benefit and a lot of ColourPop. I promise you, I'm not sponsored. I wish, but I'm not. I'm going to use this L'Oreal, one of their new lip colors in I Rule. These are very liquidy, like a lot more liquidy than you would think, and they're pretty drying. Like if you wear them more than one day in a row, your lips are going to get pretty dry. At least mine do. I'm going to put a little bit of ColourPop's Moonchild Gloss on top of this. I talked about this in my January favorites. It's so pretty. Well, here is the finished look. I need to get real close to my face, and I will zoom the camera in, but I have to wait till I'm done filming because I don't have a autofocus that doesn't make like a clicky noise. This is gonna look horrible by like hour 3. And that sucks because I have plans tonight with my best friend to go out for sushi, and this glitter is all over my face already. The concealer makes my under eyes look like I have aged greatly in the last half an hour. I don't like that at all. The foundation, like in this area, looks generally pretty fine. You could still see my scars, like my redness. The shade is off, so much so that like around my lips, you can see like my skin is a lot whiter than the foundation. And there were lighter shades, but like I said, I don't want them to be too pink, and I don't want to put it on my face and be like ghostly. You can also see like around my eyebrow here is a little whiter than the foundation, and then that's probably because like this area is pretty dry and there's a line running through it. Like I said, the under eyes, like here looks fine, but here and the center looks horrible. And I think from the camera from afar it looks fine, and it also looks fine from afar in person, but if I'm getting like super up close and I'm being very critical, it looks dry. And that's just, I have very dry skin. If you have very oily skin, these might be products that perform well on you. But if you have very dry skin, even doing things like a hydrating mist, a hydrating primer, and oil under the eyes might not necessarily save you from how drying these products are. And as for the pigments, I love the color of these pigments. I've played around with them a lot. I've used the Crab, I've used the Twins, I've used, what shade is this? The Maiden. They all have really bad fallout. That's my experience with them so far. I haven't used them with like a glitter glue, but I have used them mixed in with MAC Fix Plus with just a standard eyeshadow primer. So I may have to use a glitter glue with something like this. Nothing else I really tried was very new besides these L'Oreal lip colors, which I like the formula of these, but just keep in mind they're very wet and they are a little bit dry. And I forgot to say at the beginning of the video, but I did start the video with my brows on. Those were not my natural brows. I used the ColourPop Brow Boss in the shade Auburn. That is the finished look. Those are my updates. Alex is working full-time. The dogs are fantastic. They're aging, and I can't even believe time is flying by. Pepper's going to be 2 in July, and I can't. And then I also started aesthetics school. So if you enjoy this video and you want to wish me the best of luck in my program, please let me know in the comments below and by giving this video a thumbs up. There are, of course, things that I'm still stressed about and still anxious about. My life is not, you know, a picture perfect little life. I don't think anybody's is, and if they tell you it is, they're lying to you. But I don't want to share all of those little stresses with you guys because they're not yours to handle, they're mine to take care of and to manage, and that's life. But I hope that you guys enjoy seeing these little snippets of my life, even if it is just in update videos like this. I have a hard time putting into words how much this space really means to me because it does mean so much. So thank you for letting me have this space, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comments down below. I hope you have a beautiful day, and I will see you very soon in my next video, I hope. Bye guys.